we are going to listen and we are going to understand about the CentOS installation, Red Hat Linux. And today we have with us a renowned speaker, Sagar Ikhankar, sir. And he was actually like of our SNJB family only, right, sir? And
Right, right.
uh, and he was my student also. He was one of my favorite students. Okay, so dear students, his top skills of Sagar sir is Red Hat, cloud computing, and vendor management, and he also has certification on Red Hat certified specialist in Ansible automation and. And you if you see, he has so many honor awards in Linux installation. So without wasting our time, I request Sagar Ikhankar sir to start with the session. And dear students, be very free to ask to Ikhankar sir about the Linux, okay, network and cloud computing, and whatever you want to ask in career, whatever you're going to do. So you be free with Sagar Ikhankar sir. And sir, I give the stage to you, and you can please start with the session. Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Yeah.
So most of the time, when we talk about Linux or say Linux career, many of the students have their mindset like why one should go for a Linux. I mean, any technology. Like this is for just Linux. I'm talking about any technology because I started earlier in 2005 to understand what is Linux and Red Hat, and specifically I got interest when it is so much secure operating system. Yet, I mean, hackers use this operating system to hack any other systems. Okay, so that created an interest in me to learn more about the Linux. Okay, and later on when I was in college, I used to experiment number of things because Sangvi sir was so helpful in that particular matter. I really thank them because they encouraged me all the time regarding like whatever technology you have, you should go with it. So I really thank Sangvi sir for that because they believe in me and they handed over the complete internet server to me, and they say, okay, go ahead and do whatever is needed for this particular student internet access or setup. So I really thank Sagar sir for that. Today, I'll just make sure that this session will be more of an interactive rather than being on the one-sided, because see, all the time you are a student, as in, you are in the mood like you always listen, and sometimes you mute and take a deep sleep for 30 minutes and then wake up. And this happens generally. This should not happen. So everyone who is curious to understand, we just given a name like workshop on CentOS installation and REDHAT certification. But apart from that, if you think you have any questions and you have any doubt, you can stop me any point in time to understand why we are going for or going for this particular technology, CentOS or Red Hat, or for that matter, Ubuntu. Anything, like any particular thing in your mind while you are attending this particular session, you can ask me now. Like, sir, we are expecting this particular thing from this particular session. You, or maybe you already know about the Red Hat Linux certifications, and you just wanted to know that what is the future scope for this technology. I'm right now working with Veritas as a technical support engineer, and recently, like just a 23rd August, we joined around 30 freshers in our team. So that was a campus interview. I was completely unaware about it. Later on, my director told me that, okay, it was there, but it was not conveyed to every engineer. We are taking, otherwise I have suggested SNJB for that, and they might have come here and selected few from our SNJB. Okay, and right now they are working with me. I am the mentor for around three mentees. So they have assigned those 3 mentees to me, and I am giving a training them on the Linux, on the networking part, and our product. Okay, so before starting this particular session, there is a point in like who should attend this lecture and why we should go for a Linux. See, this particular session, as it's like 1.5 hours, so we can't cover a depth of Linux, but we can cover what is a 10,000 feet information about Red Hat and the job opportunities, and how we can start with this particular installation. Okay, so I would like to ask, anyone can speak up and tell me what is your expectation or what is your view on the Linux operating system. Okay, before I start, anyone can unmute. I am unable to understand or unable to know any particular student or a particular participant for that matter. So it's completely, it's not like that I'll contact him and ask like, why did you ask me this question? No, not at all. So you can just unmute yourself, and you can ask me the question before I start the session regarding what your perception regarding Linux or the Red Hat operating system or Red Hat certification. Here we go. Anything. I mean, before we start lecture, we were to just start with the discussion. It's okay. Why? Because why I'm telling you, because in the corporate world, if you keep mum here, okay, if you keep mum here, not talking about the yourself, or you are asking the question, the same thing will reflect in your corporate life. Okay, and that's what the interview was like, how the students are able to speak up, and rather than the technology. That's why those 30 students got selected. And the salary is not something, a negotiation part in our organization, because it starts from the 7 only. We can't give anyone below 7. We have decided to have that much of salary. Why? Not because that student is very technology expert, or that student is very, but he is able to express himself. That's what our organization or this particular rule. And then there is a training about Linux or a Red Hat. That is a part of a company training trend. Okay, yeah, you can go ahead, ask me any question regarding this particular session or anything. Okay, and then after 5 to 10 minutes we'll start with the CentOS instruction. Am I audible to everyone? I mean, is it something I'm not audible?
Yes, sir,
Students are
you are
not able.
audible.
Yeah, madam. Anyone have anything regarding already? I mean, would like to understand the students' background. Is it from the diploma students or they are from the engineering students? Yeah, madam.
Sir, diploma and engineering both
Both
students.
students, diploma and engineering, both students. Yeah,
Yes.
right. Okay. Okay. So the more have the third year as an operating system, and there are last year student, or they are like mixed third year, last year, diploma, third year, last year, second year, third year. Like is it a mix, or it is just a last year student or third year? They can speak up. I'll just now pinpoint any random name. Okay, I just want to pinpoint Pranjal Thakre. Yeah, Pranjal Thakre. Can you tell me from which um, field you are, a computer diploma degree? Yeah, Pranjal.
Computer degree.
Computer degree last year.
No, sir, I'm from third year.
Third year. So you already have this operating system in your syllabus.
Yeah, sir.
Okay. Okay. So what is your interest, Pranjal? Like what all these years, like first year, second year, third year, which subjects more attracted you in this all semesters? Which subject do you find it is very good at your end? Forget about the Linux. Anything you interested in, and why?
M1, M2, and M3, and OP.
OP. Okay. So more of the mathematics and all. So it will be very great if you have a mathematics and the statistics and the OP concept. Then it will be more great. Like you if you are opting for a data science and data technologies, where there is a more scope. when you are going. So your interest part will decide which kind of career you will go for. Okay. So yeah, I'll not waste much time, and let's start um, with the CentOS installation. First, while we are doing the installation, okay, because it will take a more time. So I'll suggest all you can ask me the question in between, because the installation part is the long running part. It will take a time. Okay, so I have a notepad in front of me. What I'll do is I'll just ask madam if they can stop sharing, and I'll start sharing my screen. Okay, let me decide which screen I have to share. So screen number 2. Okay, I have selected. Let me know if you are able to view my second screen where the notepad is. Yes, madam. Are you all able to see my screen? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great, great. So, while starting this session, where I'm just assuming, okay, you already know what Linux is, and that's why you are here, and you already aware about the Linux, but we will start the um, Linux installation part. What things you have to consider while you are going for a CentOS installation. Now, first understand what is CentOS and Red Hat for that matter. Now, uh, if you're already aware, it's okay. If not, you'll come to know. So Red Hat is more of the professional operating system. What means the professional operating system means Red Hat itself create an operating system, okay, which is RPM based, and that operating system is given to a corporate people where they want to store their data, or morely like sensitive data they want to. Even though the Microsoft is promoting their operating system more, it's okay, but when there is a problem or there is a thinking of my data should be secure, then the only operating system comes into the any company's mind is Red Hat operating system, or Linux for that matter. Not Red Hat, but Linux for that matter. So what if a company take the Red Hat operating system? What benefits they are getting for taking a Red Hat operating system as their server operating system is, first is they get a support. Okay, this is the major thing in any organization. Because see, anything you consider anything, that might be product development, that might be if you consider a Maruti, they have their own car. Making a product and selling them, it's one part, and giving a support is another part. Okay, the product is ready. For example, Maruti sell around 10,000 cars a year. Later than they stop producing this 10,000 cars, they stop, and for the 4 month they are not having any production in their organization. Now, what if they don't have any production in their organization, but what happened to this 10,000 cars? Customer will always face a problem, and they will come to the company to resolve it. So there is a support department for it. They will always support those cars for next 5 to 10 years, because that's what the life is for the car. So the major focus of this department is the support. So if any operating system or Red Hat operating system purchase, or any Microsoft or any operating system is purchased, or any product is developed, there is always one department that is called as a support in any case. And that department is 24/7 working on all the time. It is not all the time, for all the continent it is working. So if it is in India APJ time, then it will be here only. So the support is major concern, because when any company deploys their application to the operating system, they want that it should be compatible with the operating system, and they can easily integrate it if there is any bug, any problem. So only the Red Hat can provide support for it. Okay, the Red Hat can support. And if I take this particular operating system, CentOS for that matter, why one should go for the CentOS? Now here there is a no support. Okay, no support means what? You can use this operating system, you can modify it, you can do anything. If you want to host your operating website, you want to host your application, your secure data, you can. But if suppose after a period of time CentOS is upgrading itself, it is they are giving they are giving a kernel update, they are giving an application update, you can do it. But the problem is, when you have a certain issues, like your mount point is not mounting, or operating system is behaving in some different way, there is a bug. that CentOS can't resolve it. There is no support team for the CentOS. There is only two teams for them, is development and the feedback team. So they take a feedback from the customer and they try to deploy different patches and they upgrade in that way. The same is the Red Hat. Okay, it's a copy of a Red Hat operating system. If you take a RHEL right now, the latest one is RHEL 8 for that matter, and previously to the 7, then 6. I started with the 5. Okay, in 2005, and then they evaluate with 5, 6, 7, and now the Red Hat 8 operating system is going on. So they give a support to it. So if you want to take a Red Hat at your machine, it is free. You can use it, but they will not give you support for it. Okay, but if you want a support, then you can pay for it, and then you will get a support for it. Okay. Now let's go for the CentOS. CentOS, the same way, they can give you the CentOS. They can give you the application freely. You can use the applications or the RPM packages for that matter free. But if you need any support to resolve your issue, which happened because of your application or a legacy application which you are using since very long, then the problem is you will not get a support on it. So which operating system is best for me while I'm learning or while I'm using? The first most is CentOS operating system, which is good for me if I want to host something, I want to learn something. So CentOS is the best for me. But then when you go into the corporate world, they will come with the Red Hat. Only difference, as I told you, is only the support, which is a matter, like licensing for 1 year for a support for the Red Hat. Okay, that's the beauty. Okay. Okay, so let's see how and what things are required from the evaluation, like what is the CentOS and why we are using it. So CentOS, what we need is, the from the online is ISO file. Okay, for the installation. Here as online, I can't tell you physical installation, but the more of virtual installation you might have done, a virtual machine installation. Okay. Then we'll see how to download the ISO file to create virtual machine. You might be knowing this or not knowing, it's a good one. So virtual machine, how to deploy this particular operating system, deploy this and install the Linux. Okay. So prior to this, I was a trainer in the Seed Infotech. If you have heard it, like 4 to 5 years, I was a Red Hat certified trainer over there for 4 years. I used to teach Red Hat operating system 6, and then after 2013-14, the 7 comes into the picture, and now in 18-19, I guess, started with the 8. Okay, so this was not the first lesson in the Red Hat training stuff, but it is third or fifth or might be 10th chapter where we used to tell how to install this Red Hat operating system. Now, why? Because if you're not knowing the integral part of the operating system, there is a much way you will not understand how to install it and what is a partition and all. Okay, so this is what we are going to see. CentOS ISO file, from where we have to download it, what are the options. Then there is a virtual machine, how we can deploy it, whether to use VMware or whether to use Oracle VM for that matter, which thing we have to use, and how to deploy and install the Linux. Okay, and after that, see the Red Hat part, like Red Hat certification part, like how one can go for the certification. What is the actually use of this particular Red Hat certification? Okay, whether it is useful for students, professionals. Okay, whether it is highly recognized certification, because only the Red Hat is providing the Linux certification practically. Other thing as well, like in the market, there are if you search for there is LFC courses, Linux Foundation Certified System Administrator and the Certified Engineer. There are 2 other courses which is not a practical base, but they are more of a theory kind of thing, like selection of say 1 question and there are 4 options. Okay, so that kind of certification that is for. But for the Red Hat certification, it is all about practical based certifications. Now, anyone have any questions? Yeah, you can straight away ask me. Comes to your mind, why? Because there are, I see the first time this much of participants. It is amazed me, because if we would have this much of participant, we like can't continue it, because I used to have 5 to 10 participant, which they are like more comfortable to talk with me directly. So I hope some of you will take an initiative and start asking the question, because there are 100 minds and 100 thoughts here. So, we can start with that. Any question till now regarding anything? Because I can't be, I'm not good at talking continuously in the flow where I'm not sure whether the students are listening or they are sleeping. Okay, just I'll take a random shot then. I'll just ask Tejas. Hello, Tejas. Are you there? Hello, Tejas.
Yes,
I'll
sir.
be asking.
Yes.
Tejas, don't be shy, okay? You can ask me the question. Tejas, you are in the last year computer engineering, right?
Yes, sir. Definitely.
Okay. So what is your interest point on those so far year, like first year, second year, third year, or the last year? What makes you more, which subject do you like more?
OP, sir.
OP, rather, apart from this, what other subject you are interested in OP? Other than this particular subject, which subject do you think that make a career or decide whether which side you have to go for?
Yes, sir.
No, which subject you are interested in? I'm just asking, apart from the OP.
PPL, sir.
Which one?
PPL, Problem and Programming Language.
Very good, very good. So you might have study about this this particular languages, and generally on which operating system you perform this particular practicals? Is it a Linux or it is a Windows operating system where you have installed the
Windows.
Windows? So what application you use to execute your programs?
Online GDB, sir. Or Python.
Online and not offline. Okay. So let's let's move to the subject, like how we are installing this. So first we'll decide, we'll just try to find out the CentOS ISO. We'll try to find out from the internet. You already might be knowing this, but just to our information, like from CentOS, this is a site and this is freely available. So you can download any of the available ISOs from your end. Okay. So if you wish to install a CentOS 8 or CentOS 7, okay. So let's try to select this particular site. I hope it is visible. Now here is the interesting part. We have the old CentOS 7 as well. These are the RPMs, or you have the 8 is also available. Now we'll select this particular x86-64 ISO for the CentOS 8. Now it is not limited for the operating system installation. You can choose either a 7 or either a 8. It is totally depend on you. Both the operating system version 7 and 8 is having the same kind of installation. So we can select any of the operating system ISO. Okay, so let's start with recent. The server which you think is really near to you. Okay, so I can see the .n. Now here you can see that number of ISOs there. There is one boot ISO. Now why we require this particular boot ISO? And then there is a torrent file as well. Now what is the torrent is not working? It's okay. And now this is your OS ISO file. So it is around 8 GB. Okay, even though it is written over here, but there is around 8 GB of this particular ISO. Okay, we can select this and you can start downloading it. For me, it will take around, it's around, see, you can see that it's a 9.24 GB. If I start downloading it, it will take some around what time? Let's see how much time it takes. There it is, downloading. Let's see. It will take 12 minutes for me. for you, I don't know how much time it will take. Okay, it's a 9 GB, so for you it will take around I don't know, it'll depend upon your speed, like what speed. Right now I'm in Nasik Ozer, so this is what the speed I'm getting over here. So do you think it is a good speed? Yeah, any one of
Yes,
you?
sir.
So what you are expecting, what should be the speed at your end? What is your speed at when you work at your home? Because I remember when I was in SNGB, it is around 6 Mbps speed I used to get on the server, because we were having a lease line. Okay, so that's what the speed I observe right now. It is 12 Mbps and it is a capital Mbps. Can anybody tell me what is the difference between capital Mbps and small Mbps? Anyone? You get the speed, right, from the service provider, and they tell you like there is a 10 Mbps speed, or you get a 5 Mbps or 100 Mbps or 50 Mbps. What is that? Anyone can unmute and yeah.
It's the small b represents bits and the big one like bytes. If it's
Okay.
in big, it's 11 Mbps, na? So we have to divide it by 8, and what will it come? It's the downloading speed of ours.
Okay. So my speed is now, it is showing as 10 capital Mbps. So what could be my small Mbps speed? Yeah, the calculator. You
Near
can
about
check.
50 Mbps.
Here about 50 Mbps. Okay.
50 Mbps.
Anyone else? Can calculation? I think no one has not given a particular calculation. Can anybody tell me? It's around 10 to 11 Mbps. What should be my actually small Mbps speed? Anyone? I think you should be interactive more. There are 991 students altogether. You should be more interactive. Nobody is going to cut your marks. But if you're not speaking up well, this is what you are in interview, you will be failed. Don't hesitate to talk and ask the question. Nobody is going to punish you at any point in time. But yeah,
Excuse me, sir.
yeah, no,
It's near about 100 Mbps. Your
correct.
speed
Yeah,
is near about 100 Mbps.
correct. So near about it is a 100 Mbps speed. So that's what I mean. In the interview as well, they ask you this some question like this. What is capital Mbps, what is 1000 Mbps, and what is 1000 capital Mbps and small Mbps. The major difference is that, because when you consider the megabits, it is always divided by 8 to get a bytes. Okay, and when it is capital Mbps is megabytes, and it is a small Mbps that is called as a megabits. Okay, so that is the difference while you are working. I think here as well they might have shown you in the internet downloader, they might have shown you like you want a speed into bits or megabytes. I have chosen capital Mbps. Okay, so let me take into another monitor. Okay, so let it download. Okay, so I have already downloaded one file which is around same thing. We'll just try to see what is next. So first we downloaded the CentOS. Now the second part is the virtual machine. So virtual machine in the sense of program which will be there. Anybody want to speak in between? Do you have any questions? Okay, so this which machine? So I prefer Oracle VirtualBox. Okay, VirtualBox, which is already highlighted. So Oracle VirtualBox. Why? Because it is very much easy to operate as a student level. Okay, we are not doing anything as a professionally, but it is a more of a good virtual machine which we can download. I'm not talking in going deep. Why? Because we are under 10,000 fits. Because right now these virtual machines are not there anymore. A single virtual machine can host about 100 other websites because of a Docker concept, if you already know. Because nowadays we ourselves also in the company not installing many of the operating system. We have only one operating system, and on top of it we have 100 Docker images which is running, and that is very good for us because we don't want to maintain each operating system and their usernames and all. We have to maintain only one operating system, and in the single operating system we have a multiple application all together running in a different environment. One application is running on the CentOS, another one is running on the Red Hat, another one is running on the Windows. So there are so many Docker images which we have currently, but most of the time the Docker images are the only Linux images of the different versions altogether, and we install application. So it is not something, if one application goes down, the entire operating system has to rebuild. Only that particular image has to rebuild into the Docker, if you are aware about it. If not, it's okay. So we required this platform, okay, the virtual machine. Now, what is a virtual machine here? If you are talking about the virtual machines, there are hosting solution. One is how these virtual machines work. One is full virtual machines, okay, full. Okay, another one is half or partial virtual machine. Okay, one is so there is a kind of hypervisor which is used. Hypervisor. Now, what is a hypervisor? If you consider, is a particular application which run this particular virtual machines, because on our operating system we are trying to run other operating system, like, because this is a Windows, I'm just running Linux on top of it. Now I can't directly run a Linux operating system, so I need something that is called as a hypervisor. Okay, so there is a one hypervisor which is directly installed on the hardware, and on the top of it you can run the virtual machine. That is a full virtualization. That is good virtualization. Another one is half virtualization or para virtualization. Para virtualization is something is what we are doing now. We have a host operating system, host OS. On top of it we install the hypervisor, like this Oracle and Oracle, or maybe a VMware, and then on top of it we run our operating systems. Okay, so whenever some instruction is going from the operating system here, it will pass through your Oracle VM. Oracle VM will talk to the kernel of the host operating system. Okay, and then the host operating system will talk to the hardware. So this is how it is getting completed. So the hypervisor is one of the tool, I'll say, which will help us to run the virtual machines. Okay, so this virtual machine OS, virtual machine OS. Okay, so this is what we are setting up. Para virtualization. Para virtualization will always cost you more of a RAM. Okay, more of RAM is required. There are so many shortcomings of this particular para virtualization. If your host OS is getting down, if your host OS is getting down, so many, suppose there are assuming that there are 20 virtual machines which are running on this particular hypervisor on this OS is like Windows. I'll guess here our system is Windows. Now, what if this particular Windows gets crashed? What will happen is all these 20 virtual machine will be get down and we can't use. Someone want to speak? Yeah. Yeah, Yogita, you would like to speak something? No. She accidentally started the mic. Okay, not a problem. So so this particular Windows host OS, if gets down, shut down, then what will happen is this whole 20 virtual machines will get down. For ourselves, like for student life, it is okay. Like if you boot the virtual machine down, you'll again start your Windows, you'll start virtual machine and all. But what if there is an companies like Microsoft and those, they can't hold this particular machine down for more than 1 minute. So if there is a charge like for 1 minute their host OS or their virtual machines are down, they will be fined 10 millions or 20 million dollars from the, normally in India it's not happening, but in the overseas, America, UK, they charge directly for $10 million for their reimbursement for getting this particular OS down. So most of the companies, they have is using a hypervisor, the full hypervisor, or only hypervisor systems. Okay, now when this hypervisor is considered, VMware is a topmost with all, like they are the top at this particular moment. Not all the time, I'm saying because of the practical reason, but if anyone has a detailed analysis, they can say as any other virtual machine or the hypervisor system for that matter. Why? Because they have a they are a hypervisor they have installed in, say, so the structure is working like this. There is a management host. There is one management host there. Okay, so this management host will manage all the virtual machines. Okay, virtual machine. This is another machine altogether. This is another machine, and there are in the system there are 1, 2, 3, and these all are hypervisors. Hypervisors. Okay, hypervisor 1, hypervisor 2, hypervisor 3. Okay, these all hypervisor is having their own virtual machines due to the load. So now this one hypervisor is hosted on one hardware, one server, and there are other. So here I consider there are 5 virtual machines which are working for one organization. This is somewhere they have 10 virtual machines which is working. Okay, here there are around, say, suppose 7 virtual machines they are working. Okay, now this is what the setup is always. So now in this particular setup, what if this particular hypervisor, due to some hardware issue or RAM issue, this particular server goes down? What will happen? Now in our consideration, if we consider this as our setup, and in that setup, if this 5 virtual machine goes down, the problem will come like those all 5 virtual machine will be down until and unless our this particular Windows system comes up. But here, this is not the case. This management host an idea like, if suppose this particular 5 virtual machine goes down, it will automatically switch this 5 virtual machine running on the hypervisor 2 for some time. Okay, it will not make it as a down, but it will directly start those virtual machine on hypervisor 2 on the another system, and nobody will notice that there is a downtime. This is what is called as a full virtualization. Okay, so here this 15 virtual machine will be run. Yes, you will find some lag or a performance issue for that some time, but in that particular time, the company will make sure that there is another hypervisor deployed, and they will back those 5 virtual machines. This is called as a hot swap virtual machines, and this virtual machine will run continuously. And that's why in the corporate world, you will never find there is a downtime. Now, this is just one system. What if the entire light of this particular, entire electricity of this particular data center or this particular hypervisors, they are just connected to the same electrical socket? What happens if they goes down? So here another concept is called as a cluster systems. In the cluster, they have hundreds of hypervisors. They are divided into the groups, and then they will transfer all this 15 plus 10 plus 7 virtual machine to that cluster. So it is also happening. So that's why they maintain the high availability into this particular environment. Okay, so this is what the virtual machine, and for us, we are using this virtual machine to host our we are using this virtual machine software called as a VMware, and which is free for us. And that's what I mean. The student life, we normally prefer, which is a free thing available for me even when I was a student. But now then, how we are installing this VMware client? So let's go here where from VirtualBox we just put virtualbox.org, and we just click on the download. And oh, is it so? There is no internet. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
So they say site can't be reached. I don't know. Is it going through the different network altogether? Because I have 3 networks. Maybe it is checking some other internet service provider. Yeah, it is there. Maybe this particular, load balancing. If you are aware about it, there is a load balancing. So due to which that could be a problem. Okay, not a problem. So see here, the VirtualBox is, you have to select this Windows host, the latest version. So you can select this. Okay, and here you can find that that machine is getting where it is. Where is download window? Okay, I got it. So here it is download. It is 1.3. It should not take more than, yeah, it is downloaded. Yeah, you can see that it is downloaded. While click it is already downloaded. Okay, so we require this VirtualBox. So what we have to do, we have to just open the folder where it is downloaded. Okay, so there are so many softwares for that matter. So this is the newest version we have right now. Previously I downloaded 24. This is the 6126 version. So you can install this VirtualBox. Okay, and let's try to install this VirtualBox. And for installation, if I start it, it is already installed in my system. So it might give you an error saying that it is already installed, or you want to update it. Okay, so it is already there. So what I'll do, I have already virtual machine box. I'll just try to stop that. Okay, and yeah, it has stopped. I have the virtual machine as well, which is running since very long. I'll just power off them. I have so many virtual machine which is running on. Okay, so nothing is running in my environment right now. So I'll just go ahead and install this. Okay, next simple one. Okay, let's see how it goes. It should not take that much of time. I think participants are getting down. They might be having other sessions, but this is Saturday, right? You have a college at Saturday as well, or there is a off Saturday, Sunday, or Monday to Friday? Yeah, anyone can tell me, like, what is your college hours? I mean, there is no college hours as I know, because I used to start at
No,
any
sir.
time. Yeah, Pranjal. At what time you started? Tejas?
10.
10. Okay, 10 in the morning, and the evening at what time?
10 in the morning.
And college finish at what you decide at, like you want to bunk some
3
lectures?
p.m.
3 p.m. So it's a 10 to 3. And no college visit,
Yes,
or
sir.
you are, yeah, and it is offline, or it is still
Purely
online?
online, sir.
Purely online. You don't want to come to college, right? Or you would like to?
We would like to.
Okay, great. So I just canceled that. Okay, because I already have the Oracle Oracle VM virtual box already installed in my system. So I prefer to have my own virtual box. Okay, let's see, because I already have, I'll not waste a time in installing that. What I'll do is I'll just go to my Windows part, and I'll just say virtual box, and it appears here after the installation. If you go next, and it will start, and it will install that um, VirtualBox software, and it will look like this. I already have those machines installed in my system. That's why you can see that master server, the client, and the client too. I used to do a practice for several machines on my system. Okay, now how to start with this? This is already system. Now how you will start? This is the same setup where these all three machines, where we will be like in your scenario, it will not be there in your system. What you have to do is you have to click here or here, might be in the file or might be here as a new. Okay, you started, and here you will get all this information, like what is the name, or what virtual machine name you would like to give. You can give it. Where should be the machine folder? Now this is interesting. Where you should keep this machine is interesting part. Now always choose a different drive where you think that after the operating system, because we all use a non-licensed operating system, so it might be a chance like you will lose your virtual machine while reinstallation. So always choose a different drive. For me, there is no different drive. I have one NAS drive which I have created on my network. On my home network, I have created one NAS where I put all the virtual machines. But for your for a training purpose, I just put into my C drive. Okay, so the type is which kind of operating system you would like to install. So as a part, we are installing a Linux, and here as which operating system, because here I can't see CentOS, so I'll just put as a REDHAT 64. Okay, why we choose the operating system? That is interesting. Now, if I'm not choosing this operating system, am I able to install it? So I'll just say CentOS part 1. Okay, so this operating system I would like to install. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so it's a Linux, and why we choose this? Because when you install the operating system, there are some packages which need to be available while installing that operating system. That's why we choose it. Otherwise, there is no need. If you go for other, you can install the operating system fresh. So you have to install some packages from the Oracle VM by yourself. That's why we choose this. Then there is a memory size, like what should be the memory size. Now this is very interesting part. Like, when we start an operating system, we already know there are a lot many RAM is required on your Windows machine as well. If you have a 4 GB RAM, if you have a 8 GB RAM. Now, most of the time when the virtual systems are running, virtual machines are running, they require very less virtual machine RAM. For Oracle VM, I really like the way they have managed to run a huge operating system and minimal RAM and minimal interference with this particular minimum load for that matter on this Oracle VM on your system. So that's why I choose VirtualBox, because I observed both the things, VMware and as the Oracle VirtualBox, but I prefer VirtualBox for that matter. Okay, so the RAM, like what RAM you should choose at the initial level, choose 4 GB or a 2 GB. That totally depend on you, like what kind of setup you have at your home. So the best way is choosing is around 4 GB. Okay, 4096, that is because 1024 MB is 1 GB. So 4 GB is around 4096. That is your memory size. Okay, so here is again what you would like to add. Why do you want to add? Do not add a virtual hard disk, because you might have already a virtual hard disk available, or you want to create a new virtual hard drive now. Okay, so virtual hard drive is you are creating or use an existing virtual hard drive. So you can choose whichever is available. Right now, it is showing is in the graded format is like client1.vdi, so which is already there a client one. So I'm creating a CentOS part 1. Okay, so I'll just say create a new virtual hard disk now. I'll say create it. Okay, now it is asking like, see, this is the file location. Would you like to change the location? If you can, you can. So now file size is regarding your hard disk size. Okay, so your hard disk would be 8 GB or 20 GB or 40 GB, what size you want for your OS to run. So by default, they have given 8 GB, but because I have enough storage as of now available in my hard disk, so that's why it is given an 8 GB. In your concern, it might be a 4 GB or what. For installation, we'll be not needing more than 4 GB. So you can choose 8 GB. Okay, but if you have enough space, you can choose much more than that, like 20 or 30 GB for installation. It depends on your configuration, but the installation space is not required more than 4 GB. I choose 30 GB, but I have selected one more option over here. You can see that dynamically allocated. Now, what is this dynamically allocated? It means that, can we make a router with the help of Linux computer? Yes, we can make a router out of a Linux system, you can say. Yeah, we can. Yeah, Aishwarya, we can make it.
Yes, sir.
Good. Okay. We can create as I told you, I vividly remember when I was in college, we created one project called as a car concept, adaptive clock adaptive replacement algorithm. So that we have implemented using a kernel. We compiled our kernel and we have implemented this that year in third year when I was in the college. So yes, why? Because there are so many, because it's an open source. We already know, because it's an open source, we can edit the kernel. We can say that, see, now there is a page replacement algorithm in our computer system where when you open any application, and if you reopen that application after some time, it will open in a few seconds. Why? Because there is a recency and frequency algorithm which is used for a kernel where it will open the recent application very fast. But we have made a clock adaptive page replacement algorithm. If you search on a Google, you will find that the clock page replacement algorithm, and we want to implement it. But for the Windows operating system, we can't do, because it's not open source. Whatever the R&D we have to perform, that we can perform on the Linux system. So that's why we choose a Linux, and on that we have performed that. We compile our kernel, new kernel, and we deployed that kernel into the Linux, and then we try to check whether our particular project was successful or not. There is no purpose in changing the current dynamic algorithm, but we just wanted to know that if we are able to make the kernel change, so we made it. And it was not something, see, all of a sudden, if those are not interested in programming, don't worry. I mean, there is a part, like, because you are in the project or is in the team, you have to decide which part you are expert in. So I was expert in Linux operating system and their components. So I majorly defined like where the kernel is, how to download, how to compile, how to make the operating system bootable. That was my part. And one of my friend was expert in programming. So I'll say, just I'll give you a program, you have to implement it. I have with the algorithm, you have to just define how to program it. Okay. So collaboratively, we have performed this particular project. Okay. So coming to here again. Now here dynamically allocated, and another one is a fixed size. Okay. Now fixed size. If I say fixed size, what will happen? A 30 GB file is created on your system. A 30 GB file will be created on your system. And if I say dynamically allocated, it will not create 30 GB file. It will create a 2 GB file. And as soon as you try to install something in it, it will increase its size up to 30 GB automatically when you will start copying something in it. So it's very good to have a dynamic allocated option selected over here while you are creating virtual machine. So I created a 30 GB. This is what my client CentOS part 1, I say created. Okay, now you can see here there is one machine is created. Okay, for this machine we already given a 4 GB RAM, 1 core processor. If you would like to change, you can go to the settings. Okay, and when your system is off, okay, for the hardware changes, like a system, if you click here, you'll see that base memory. Here you will see that 1 CPU is given, the 4 CPUs there, so 4 core are there. If you're aware about the CPU structure, okay, so this is a Intel processor. So those who would like to work more and more having the virtual machine, they can go on the Ryzen or AMD processors. So they have a more CPUs to work for. Okay, they are not morely efficient as a Intel, but yeah, as a student life, we can go for a cheapest thing and the most useful things, and then go for any laptop which is a Ryzen laptop, Ryzen 5, Ryzen 7, because they are 16 core or 8 core CPU and 16 threads CPU. Those who know already what is computer hardware, they don't know what is a CPU core and frequencies altogether. Those are gaming experts. They also know this, why the cores and the frequency are more important. Okay, so this is where you can change your processor type. You can say execution gap, what should be the execution gap and all. If I say execution gap is less than 1% or less, when you select the less execution gap, and then the more load on the processor will come up, because we don't want our system should be running professionally, or I have a deploy this particular system in the production environment. I don't want it. This is just a test environment. So it's okay. Then storage, you can see here, I have connected one SATA hard disk over here. Okay, CL80A. Okay, there is a PATA hard disk. You more of knowing this than me, because it's around 10 years I left the college. So and in that point in time, you can add the hard disk if you wish to. So you click here and you can add more hard disks to it. So it's very easy here when your system is off. Okay, then there is audio network, how many network you would like to attach. Now here it is enabled as a NAT. Okay, NAT. Let's try to understand this before we start the operating system. Or we can install the operating system, and later on we can decide which thing we would like to have in our systems. Okay, so now yeah, our CentOS is ready for the installation. I would directly start it. But when I start my system and there is a no operating system, let's see what it will show. Okay, let's see. Is it slow? Yes, it is a little bit slow. So here we go. Here is the virtual machine. Okay, it is started. And if you are able to see my screen, it is saying that no bootable medium found, system halted. Okay, no bootable medium. So there is nothing to boot from. Okay, can anybody tell me what is booting means? What is a booting process, or what is booting means? Anyone? Anything. We'll try to correct it and make it happen. Like, when you discuss, I completely remember that when we discuss at the end of the PL, we discuss the many of the things rather than studying ourselves. So we get good marks, because while discussing, your memory works 40 or 60 times better than you are normally when you are listening. So you can discuss like what is booting. Do you know what is a booting? Yeah, Harshal.
So booting is first process of computer starting.
Computer starting is the first process. Very good. So or this is a first process, or this is a first component in a system which starts. Now, right now we just created a CentOS virtual machine. I given just the name. I am not nothing to start with. I just configure that it should have this things, and I started my virtual machine, and it is now stocked at the bootable. Now, when we are talking about the bootable, okay, so booting. So let's see booting. Okay. Now, what is a booting? So there are two types of booting. Okay? Booting means what? There is a two types of booting. One is cold boot. Okay, and another one is warm boot. Okay. Now there are two things. Cold boot means what? When your machine was in the stop state, you power on it. Okay. Once you power on it, it's starting it. So that is called as a cold boot. This is an interview question. Okay. So cold boot is that. Not is what is a warm boot? When your system was running, you forcefully asked your system to restart. So in the restart, nothing hardware is checked. But in the cold boot, everything from the your first hardware is started. Now how booting is started, now how the computer is coming to understand that how to start the operating system. The first one is the power supply. If the power supply is given to your operating system, it power on your laptop. Okay, laptop or your desktop. Most of you have now the laptop, I guess, rather than the desktop, but the desktop is having more power than the laptop. Okay, so laptop or a desktop, when you give the power to the first power supply, which is a DC power supply of plus 5 volt, is going to your motherboard. Motherboard. And in motherboard, more specifically, which is going to your major IC, that is called as a CMOS IC. The CMOS IC, there is an operating system called as a BIOS, that is called a basic input output operating system. When it reaches to that, it boots in the BIOS itself. Now, this is a basic input output operating system. It boots, and then that there is written which is a bootable device. Bootable device from where I can load the operating system. Booting means what? Nothing but is loading your operating system OS to the RAM. Okay, to the RAM. So if it is not in the RAM, you can't see on your screen. It is very good question. So if you are seeing something on your screen, it means that is into the RAM. If you're not seeing anything on your screen, if you click on a D drive, if you click on a E drive, and if you click on one song, before playing, it is getting loaded into the RAM. Then only you are able to hear. Then you are able to see. That's why that is called as a booting. So it needs some operating system files to be loaded into the RAM. So where it should find, and then there is a list of devices which is given, like disk is as a bootable device. There might be HDD as a bootable device. Right now, in our virtual machine, it is not able to find anything. There's no medium found for the bootable from where it can start the operating system or load the operating system component to the RAM. Okay, so how we can do this is, here if you say input, here devices. So in devices, optical drives, and you can choose your file. Right now I have this file over here present, so I'm choosing. If you want, you can choose a disk or create an image or choose an image. So here you can select, and how you can select over here, you have to add it, and from your machine it will show you, like in the downloaded section. If you can see that this is my file. Okay, so I can select this, I can open this. Once I open, I can see that operating ISO file over here, and then I choose this. Okay, I choose this, and I'll choose this, and right now it is halted. Okay, so I'll just try to reboot this, and it will automatically select that. Okay, so let's reboot this machine. Okay, so there are two ways all around. You can see here, and you can reset this system. Reset, and once you reset, you can see that it is reset, and now it will try to find out the disk. I think it is not selecting that. I'll just say power off, and then I'll just say power on. Reset is not working here. I don't know why, but yeah, it should work, because when you reset it, it will just press the reset button on it. It is called as a warm boot and not the cold boot. So we have to start with the system with the cold boot, and we have selected the disk initially. Okay, so let's see if it is taking that. Yes, it took it. Now you can see that over here. I hope you are able to see my screen now clearly. It is saying that install CentOS 8 and test this media and install the CentOS 8. When I say test this media, this is the only feature which is available into the Linux system. Nowadays, Windows is also providing it, but since its inception of this particular, they have made this option available so that you can test your media before you can install the operating system. Okay, so you can test this media, like you can test this media, and then now why to test this media? Because when you insert a CD or DVD, it may be corrupted. It may be your pen drive is having viruses. So in the point in time, say suppose your 50% installation is done, and if you find that okay, now this installation is no more going forward because of there is one corrupted file, the whole system, or waiting for 1 hour and 1.5 hours, you will waste your time. Okay, so if you don't want to waste your time, what you can do, you can say test this media, and then you can go for the installation. For me, I'll choose the installation CentOS 8. So I'm installing this OS, means what? I'm copying this media installation files from the disk, from the ISO file to your hard disk. Okay, so we are just starting, and where it is, we'll see that. Okay, I started it. Will take some time because it's a virtual machine. As I told you, the virtual machine will tell the hypervisor over into the application, and that hypervisor will now talk to the base operating system kernel, and then the base operating system kernel will talk to the hardware. So it is a very long path altogether in selecting that. So it will take a couple of minutes, and then it will start. Yeah, it is started. So there are so many errors, like floppy disk is not found. We don't have a floppy disk nowadays. Can anybody tell me in a Windows which drive is considered as a floppy drive? Yeah, anyone? I hope you are aware about this.
C drive.
C drive? No, C drive is your hard disk, right? Floppy drive is not your C drive. Never. Anyone else? For your matter, I'll tell you, it's a A drive. Okay, it's a A drive, which is considered as a floppy disk drive. That's why you will never see your A drive. You never have that thought in your mind. Why only Windows is considering his first drive as a C drive? Where is A? Where is B? Because A is a 3.5-inch floppy drive, whereas B is a 5.2 or 5.5-inch floppy drive. In the previous era, where the floppy drive were there, it is like 1.44 MB your floppy drive size, and it was a bootable media. Okay, and the floppy B as well. It is a very huge 5.5-inch floppy, and this is 3.5-inch floppy, which is used as a bootable media, or you are storing media that time when the computer system started. Okay, since the inception, like there is a floppy drive only, there were no hard disk drive concept. Later on it came. So after A and B drive, the next drive was a C drive. So from the C drive onwards, they used to use C drive, D drive, E drive. Okay, while this installation is going on, okay, I have one question. If anybody knows what is format and delete, anyone who already know, like this is what floppy drive, or this is what the format is, and this is what the delete is. What you generally do in the format or delete, what exactly happens in normal way? Tell me, have you heard this word, format and delete? Yeah, anyone? Have you heard this word, format and delete?
Yes, sir.
Format
Yes, it is.
remove all the files.
Okay, format remove all the files.
Delete is first of all one file is deleted, then another.
Okay. So format remove all the files, and delete remove only one file. And what if I say Control A and Shift delete? What will happen? Is it going to delete every file? Yeah. So if I say Control
Yes.
A, okay, and then what is preferable, a format or delete? If I want to just remove all the data from the particular drive, what is your preferable point? Like whether you will go for Control A, Shift delete, or format?
Format.
Format, sir.
Format? Why? I mean, deleting also doing the same thing, right? If I say Control A, I'll select all the files. Okay, I'll say Shift delete. It will permanently delete those files. Then why format? Yeah, anyone can tell me why format and delete? Because this is one of the interview question you will be asked. Yeah, it's a basic one. It's not something in detail. Nobody is going to ask you in your college life an interview. The question is very deep. Simple word they will ask. What is a format? What is a delete? I hope you have done a many format and many delete. We'll just correct you if you are wrong. Yes, Dheeraj.
If we delete anything, data is still there.
Okay.
It's not deleted permanently.
Okay. And what about format?
It just replace bits.
So, okay, there is a one word is format. It will just, so what Dheeraj is saying, when you delete it, a file is there, right? File is present.
We can
in format.
it.
Okay, so the format, in format, there is no file. So what is format is doing? I'm not asking you to just logical questions we are doing. Okay. So
The format is faster than delete.
oh wow, that is good to answer. The format is a faster than delete. Yeah, okay. So let's understand what format word means. Okay, now you heard this word many times in your career, like a application format. I need a application format, right? I need a student scholarship format or a form for that matter. You say what a format, you say form, right? The format means what? The template. The form means what? It's a blank one. Okay, so that's what you're doing, the format. So here when I say format drive for particular, say for example C drive I want to format, what I'm doing is I'm creating file system in it. Okay, if you are aware that there is a file system called as a FAT32 or for that matter NTFS. Okay, so you are formatting this particular file system on the FAT32 file system or NTFS. It's a kind of a data structure. When you format something, if I insert the pen drive and if I format that, it means that I am creating a file system on it, that is FAT32 NTFS file system on it, or it's a data structure. Okay, now formatting in your sense, in your classroom, if I say I just wanted to change the format of this classroom lab, so what I need to remove all the furniture, laptops, tables, everything, and I need to make that blank, and then I create a new format of sitting. I'll choose a different furniture for that, and that is what my format is. So when your data is coming to your drive, it should have formatted file system on that particular drive so that data can come and reside on that particular disk. So that is the thing called as a format. So when I say format that D drive, where the data goes, data never goes from the hard disk. Please, from this particular point in time, if anybody asks you, if you format your drive, if you delete your files, is data still available? 100% your data is available there. Now, how? I'll just give you a quick overview, like how the data still be on your system. So there is one index called as inode table. If you have heard it, if not, it's okay. Inode table, which is having some numbers, say for example 1. Okay, and here the file name is written like file1.txt, and it will show you the location somewhere into the operating system in the root. This is file1.txt, this is the location, or maybe some address 1040 something address. This is your hard disk location, and this is your inode table. And it holds everything about your where is the file, where is the folder, everything. Okay, so when I use the one word format, it will just remove this complete inode table and start with the new inode table structure. So if you're formatting your drive with the NTFS again, then it will just simply remove this inode table link, but it will not remove the file at this particular location. Okay, because data will never can be completely removed from your hard disk. So that's why there are a software called Recover My Files. If you have not heard, search it, Recover My Files, and if you use this software, it will try to recover all your formatted drive files as well. So if you lost your files, you can still recover my files. Why? Because files are there, but their index points are missing. Just book is there, but your index page, someone has removed that index page, and now you are only having a book. And if you see at your first page, you say, oh, there is no index, nothing, where to find out that particular chapter, I don't know. The same happened with the operating system as well. If they don't find the inode table, they will not find or pointing out where the file is. So in a delete as well, if I delete files, this particularly, if I say delete file, it will just remove that particular entry from the inode. The file is still there. Then how I can see a free space? And that's the question. So when I create a new file, it will override the previous file. Okay, it will not create some blank space, but it will overwrite. Why this is happening? Because of the electronics, because the space where you're storing your data is only 1 and 0. So charge and discharge. Okay, so if you charge something, either you can discharge, you make it 0 or 1. You can't make that space as a blank. You can't. Once you charge, either it is charge 1 or it is discharge 0. So in the hard disk, either it will be 0, either 1. When they create the hard disk, there is no data, no format, so that there is no charge, no discharge. But once you start writing the data on it, there will be 1 and 0. So making the data available and not available. Okay, or maybe you know already the binary system, what means by 1010, what may be 000. So your data will never be 000 all the time. It will be something like somewhere 1, somewhere something, even though you delete the data. Okay, so this is what the format and delete means. So in your concern, both the ways of doing the data removal is just a bypart of a format process. The format process is not considered to delete your data, but to have a new inode table. And the delete means actually trying to delete the data, but data is still there. Only the inode entry is removed from your system. Okay, so let's come to our point, because this is the session where I just end up with the things, because you have started the late. So I guess I have a, yes, madam, I have some more time, right? Because you started very late. Madam is also not there. Okay, so yeah, let's start with this. The first page, very interesting page, is like operating system installation and the language you would like to use for installation. Either we don't know 100% English, and when I shift to Hindi, I guess there is a Hindi as well. So if I click here, am I able to do that? Yes. Oh, there is something different. Oh, yeah. So if I go here, why I'm not able to do that? Let's minimize it. Let's open something. Yeah. Hitesh, are you able to see my screen? I'm not able to click over here. Let me just cancel this above part. Then might be okay. The mouse is behaving a different way. I'm not sure what is happening. Let's minimize it. Let's go this way. Okay. Just use the tab then. I hope everyone is able to see my tab. So I'll say English, I selected. I say continue over here. I'm not sure what happened to the tab. Sorry, for the mouse pointer. It is selecting that, but it is not selecting the virtual machine. Okay, so it is having here it is having a problem of installation sources, which is selected as a local media, that is ISO. Installation destination, where should be the installation? Now here is the interesting part. And just maximize it and then you will understand. Okay, so I say here, this is a 29.91 GB which we have selected. We can select as a customizable, or maybe we can select as by default. So let's see, by choosing a by default, what all sort of partition is created. Okay, no disk is selected. Let's select the disk. So I'll say Fresh. No usable disk found. Okay. Export this. Yeah, it is terminated. Why? Because of this particular issue. Just reset. Okay, I'm just restarting it, and no media is found because might be I have not selected it. So let's do it in this way. I'll just power off this system again, and then we'll start it. Because we waited for a very long, that could create a problem. I'll just start this virtual machine now. Okay, so madam is saying that for 240, there is another. Oh, okay, I'll just try to wind it up. No problem. I'll just make it fast. This is a very long time, Swati madam. I have never talked to my college, so I feel very enthusiastic while telling you all the things. Okay, because it's all together. I guess in 2013 I was there to take the lecture. I vividly remember that for the Linux part I was there. It may very long for the Linux part to complete on that particular day. I'll just quickly wind up this thing. I'll just tell you what kind of partition we can select and then all. I think in 15 minutes we can do that, in 10 minutes. Okay. In the meantime, I urge you to ask me the question, because see, I don't want you to be regret. Okay, not a problem. You can ask me over the LinkedIn profile as well. Like if you have any issue regarding your career and everything, I'll surely guide you, because I'm here in this industry since last 10 years or 11 years, you can say that. And I was knowing this particular industry, IT, from last 10 years, what kind of things happening, why there is a not enough jobs for the fresher, why the fresher is not getting hired, why there is very less salary they have giving you on the in the first attempt, like 3.51, not more than 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, why they are not giving it. And I'll tell you everything so that you will come to know what kind of skill set you have while entering into this particular field, IT field. Why someone is not getting selected? Because in the first and foremost thing for me is not able to express himself or herself. Okay, so that is one of the things which I observed while taking the interviews. They're not able to express. I'm not saying you should be right. Okay, nobody knows 100%. So forget about, like, if you don't know about any OOP concept 100%, it does not mean you are not getting selected. It is mean that whatever you know, you are able to explain to someone. Okay, so someone asked, Aishwarya asked, like, why Linux considered more secure than other operating system? That's the thing. Okay, it is considered to be more secure. Why? Because it is less penetrating operating system. It is open source. Okay, for Windows part, when you say Windows part, most of the time, your the operating system is well known to everyone. Okay, it is well known to everyone. I'll just do one thing. I'll just start another virtual machine as well. It will not have any problem for explaining. So Windows is more attackable because at the end point in time, maximum users are Windows users, and the hackers are pointing to that. Now for the security system, as we are just talking about the file system, FAT32, NTFS. So suppose in your classroom it is more of open. It is not having any CCTV camera. So it's more often that somebody can come and steal something from your classroom. So what if you have a CCTV camera? Okay, what if you are not to have the access to the files? So major thing, what is secure is your file system consideration while the file is accessed. Now in Windows, it is very easy that you can access the file because you just log in through a D drive or C drive. In Linux, it is not very much easy because when you log in, you have very limited access of the files. Okay, and the files have their different permission. So that is only not only one thing, but there are many things out of it. Yeah. Someone wants to speak in between. I don't think so. This satisfy your query, Aishwarya. However, you can ask me again.
Yes.
I don't know what happened to this mouse cursor over here because it is just pointing out somewhere. I'll just stop sharing for a minute. I think that will. Okay, and again, I'll share. Okay, so it is saying that begin installation. I'll just quickly start with the automatic partition. I'll say done. It is selected the automatic partitions, but server with GUI is selected. Okay, so root password is required. So I'll select the root password. Okay, so I'll just give a normal password over here. I think very less time is given to me. This is not good point for me. I required more time. Yes, Swati madam. So the next time when you ask for me, just allocate a more 3, 4, 5 hours for me. I guess that is a problem with the mouse pointer. I guess due to the virtual Zoom machine, it is creating a problem. No, it is a problem with the Zoom, I guess, because it is shared with the two screen. It is not allowing me to click on it. Even I say stop share, it is not allowing. And now it is working. Now it is working. I'll just say done. Yeah, I got it. It is a Zoom problem. Because of Zoom, I'm not able to do. I'll just share and then unshare for a matter like when I click on the next and then I'll explain you. Okay, so this is how it will work very fast. I guess that is a problem with Zoom itself. I identified the issue. Okay. Now this is what you identify in the technical support. So you can see that I provided the password and I can go for the begin installation. As soon as I go for the begin installation, it will start installing everything on it. Okay. So I'll just click on the next and begin installation. I clicked. Okay. You are not able to see my screen. That's okay. And now I'll just again share the screen and you can see that installation has started. Okay. So here it is. Okay, now you are able to see. Once I click on the create installation or begin installation, it started and it will now install that all files required. We selected server plus GUI, so the graphics is selected. Normally in the operating system, graphics is not selected. Okay. And once it is completed, you have to just reboot and you can start using it. Same way here, if you can see that I started another virtual machine, I'll just go through here. Okay, and this is not a graphical one. So I'll just try to get into a graphical mode, So because it doesn't require all the graphics. So the more RAM is utilized when you are using the graphics. So I prefer to run virtual machines. Over here, you can see that I have created one lab setup for training purpose. Here I created for the training purpose. That is the things. While the installation is going on, I'll just quickly explain you the Red Hat one. If you have the questions, you can ask me. what is Red Hat certification? I'll just quickly tell you. The Red Hat certification is having a 3 module called as the RH124, RH134, and RH54. Okay, or nowadays it is 294. Okay, so these are the 3 modules. If you study these 2 modules, you can go for RHCSA, Red Hat Certified System Administrator, and another one is RHCE, that is a Red Hat Certified Engineer. Now this all is about administration part. This certification can be done for those people who want to do a programming, those people who want to, those who just want to do a programming and they want to pursue their career, they can stop here till the RHCSA. They can study this, okay, and they can stop here for the RHCSA. There are several course and vendors available in the market, okay, that can give you the training. One of the Pune University program is going on is STIC. So this is the collaboration of PCMC and Savitribai Phule Pune University. They have this particular course going on. That's what I was searching, like who is providing this kind of trainings online. Is one of these STIC. You can just go to this site, sticonline.in. They have very limited fee, I guess. I can't reveal that, but they have very minimum fees rather than anything in the market. Maybe a Grass, maybe a Seed Infotech, maybe a Exceed, maybe another institution, but they have very less fees as considered because it is coming into the Pune University. So that's why you can go through it, search for the website, what kind of courses they are providing, and most of the time for the Linux administration, if you click here, you can check only RSCSA provide, because that is a basic for all. So this is what they have provided. You can go there. I just found this one of the site while I was surfing the net, and I find this is very useful because they have very good kind of syllabus they have, and they will provide you the labs as well as compared to any other institute. Okay. So it's a collaborative initiative which is taken by one of the internal R&D section. Okay, so RSCSA is best for those who want to a database administration, those who want to go for a programming, but those who are not interested in the programming, they want simply in the support and administrative part, they can go for RHC 294 along with 124 and 134. This required a 300 mark exam. Okay, and this is all practical basis. If you are able to do a practical, you are passed. There is no theory required. So if you are able to make a server ready in any point in time by using any method, you will be passed in that particular, because they have a script that will just check whether your server is running or not, whether you have created a partition or not, whether you have created a user or not. So that is the best way. So the Red Hat is providing it, so you can go for it. I know 18,000 rupees is a fee for your Red Hat certification. Okay, but the training fee varies according to the institute to institute. As I told you, STIC is from the university, so you can just connect with them. Okay, so I think once it is started, this is the window you will get when you do the complete installation. You put your username root and here as a password as a Red Hat. You can start using this operating system. It's why it is saying the password is wrong. Okay. Okay, so many of the time, when you are connecting with the graphical, it takes more RAM. So we have a MOBA XTerm kind of software. I'll just show you that. So it will be very easy, to take the remote system here. So I have this master server. If I press R, I can see that I directly logged into a remote session of that system, because I created those system, made those system aware remote access. Okay, so here it is started. Now it is having a graphical interface, and this is having your command prompt preference. So 80% of time in the Linux environment, in the programming environment, in the database SQL environment, the command prompt is most of the time is used. Okay, so if you check here, the RAM utilization is only 735 MB as compared to 4 GB what we have given. Okay, but here if I see this, it is 735 MB, which is more, because we don't require anything for programming this much of RAM. So what we do, we isolate it, system CTL, isolate, and we just provide a multi-user target mode so that RAM utilization becomes very less, around 200 MB, and your operating system will run in 200 MB and you can perform any task. So if I say free-h, you can see that now it is 232 MB. Previously it was 735 MB. Okay, so I'll just try to stop it because I think, I guess this is not time now to continue. Why? Because the madam is already pinged me regarding it. So I'll just stop. If anyone have any question, you can just ping me. I'll give my mobile number. You can WhatsApp me for that matter. Any question you have regarding your career, anything, this is my mobile number. You can just ping me WhatsApp. Yeah, you have any question, you can speak directly. Swati madam.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Ikhankar sir. It was wonderful hearing you, and I hope students must have understood the importance of CentOS installation, Linux, and how important it is, like to understand the new technologies and the importance of it. Thank you, Sagar sir. Thank you, all dear students, to have so much patience and hearing Ikhankar sir. Thank you once again on behalf of entire Com department of SNJV. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye, sir.